Good afternoon. Welcome to Cozy Up and Pay Attention, the Parent Edition. It's after 2 o'clock. We had a few technical difficulties, so at 2:15 on a Tuesday, I am here for you. I have a wonderful dad on the program today, LJ McCall. And if you would take your breath but not hold it, we'll be right back.
Cozy Stone is a multi-talented comedian extraordinaire who has a real lust for life. She also combines humor and motivation, where she is known as a humorvational speaker. Her youthful ways and positive light make her a beacon for those of all ages. Cozy has lived a remarkable life that has paved the way for so many. She had the longest running open mic venue of 11 years at Tommy Rockers in Vegas, called Cozy's Comedy Corner, through which she introduced many up-and-coming comedians. Before going into comedy, she was one of the first female personal trainers and one of the top fitness trainers in the world. She has trained many greats such as Billie Jean King, Roberta Flack, Andrew Young, Ed Bradley, CCH Pounder, Al Pacino, and Earl Monroe. As a former competitive bodybuilder, she also owned a bodybuilding gym for women over 40 in Los Angeles for several years. She has worked in top positions for HBO, Playboy, and Tony Robbins. She also enjoys volunteer work, dedicating time to the New York Foundling Hospital and babies with AIDS. Cozy Stone has a message that shouldn't be missed.
I'm back. Please welcome my guest this afternoon, LJ McCall. Would you please bring LJ into the studio? Hey there, friend.
How are we doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Before we get started, I'd always like to say to the audience, we know that there aren't any books for parenting. There really are, but they really are not. We also know that there's no such thing as a perfect parent. And just as importantly, this show is not designed in any shape, fashion, or form for parent shaming. It's designed, its concept is to share with you the parents who are doing the job, producing responsible adults. Some are finished, some are still in the middle of it. Our guest today has one, but he also has one in college. What is that? LJ, do you have noise in the background?
What are you hearing?
I hear bells. Nope.
Hear me now?
Right. Now I can hear you.
Okay.
And your phone is turned off, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Stop turning off your mic, please.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So let's get this party started. What I like to do, LJ, at the beginning of the show is to tell our audience a little background about yourself. And so what we usually find is we grow up to be more like our parents than we want to admit. And to admit, yeah, it is. And they have an influence on us one way or the other. So tell us, where were your parents, mother, dad? What part of the country or world did they come from? Where were they born and raised?
Both of my parents were raised in the South. My mother in Georgetown, my father in Dillon, South Carolina.
And your mom in South Carolina as well?
Yeah, both of them were raised in South Carolina.
And you were born where?
In Jersey City, New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess I would imagine your parents' jobs relocated you to Jersey City, New Jersey.
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
And you were born,
go ahead.
And you were born what year?
1963.
All right. So you're near the end of the baby boomers.
Right.
All right. And how old were you when you had your first child?
I was in my 30s, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. So where did you meet your wife? And I'll compound the question. When you got to know her, what was it about her that said, I'd like to have, what did she possess? What qualities did she possess that said, I can see myself having children with her?
She was very independent, focused on her job, focused on life. She wasn't a partier type. things of that nature. She was a homebody, believed in family, believed in she loved the thought of children.
Okay.
So that was interesting for me.
And how long did you know her before you asked for her hand in marriage?
If I tell you that, I got to tell you how long we were married. They got to go together because you won't
Really?
believe it, right? I think we knew each other for about 3 weeks.
Oh, good.
Yeah, about 3 weeks, and we were married for 22 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is this one of those sort of love at first sight kind of things I keep hearing about?
Yeah. I mean, it's a combination of that. I think I was getting older. I was getting at the end of the road. I was tired of being, single in the streets, blah blah blah. And I knew
Okay.
I wanted to start a family. I was of that age,
Yep.
and I knew I wanted to start a family at that age because I knew I wanted to be physically involved with my children throughout their whole entire young adult life.
Okay. And how old was she?
She was 2 years older than I was, so she was 31.
Wow. So yeah, it was time to come out the clubs.
It was time. Yeah, it was time. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Otherwise you'd have been a dirty old man real soon, huh?
Right. But see, it was a connection to that because we got married fast, but we said let's not have children for a while until we know what we're doing, etc. We exhausted our fun life. We've traveled. We've done all the partying. That's out of the way now. We could do children because I knew once we have children, that was going to be the dedication. So
Okay.
yeah.
Once the doctor informed you both that you were going to be parents, as the dad, were you, because you're grown, you're already mature, I got that.
Sure.
But still, when you hear those words, I would imagine at that moment or for a few moments, was it fear or fantasy? In other words, God forbid, now I'm really going to do this, or I'm going to play baseball, I'm going to play soccer.
Oh, it was fantasy. It was all planned. It was all exciting from day one. It was the whole process.
It was all fantasy.
All fantasy, no mistakes. We planned it. We knew. Couldn't
Wow.
wait.
I had no fear.
No fear at all.
Wow.
No fear.
I guess-
A change in life, yes, but
Right.
not fear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's sort of what comes part and parcel with adults, with mature people planning children,
Sure.
right? They know what life has to offer and what they have to offer their children.
Correct.
So I didn't have to ask you, did you parent alone? Because you did. Did your parents, and again, your age is a little different, so you really didn't need the village, but did you have the village near where you live?
No, not really. I met friends along the way that were involved, or I knew, but no village.
Okay. And let me backstep for a moment. Where were your children raised?
In California.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, in California. Yeah.
So you met her in California.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So we
She's
left
from New York. I'm from New Jersey. We never met on the East Coast, but we met out here in California. Yeah.
All right. So now we've traveled across the country, and we're on the East Coast. I mean, on the West Coast with the palm trees and the ocean.
Right.
Two different children as well. Okay. So when you have this news again, what were 3 things that you considered? You've given me some of the answers, but I'm going to repeat it again. 3 things you considered before that you wanted to have in place. And I think you may have answered that, but let me ask again. That you wanted to have in place before you started a family.
Solid relationship, a home, and a business. So, in fact, I moved from one part of San Diego to another part of San Diego for the schooling system because I want them in a good schooling system. And I bought a business in that area as well. Yeah, because I knew I wanted to be I wanted to be involved in their life. So I bought a business that I could run and be involved with them as well.
All right. So I like to ask my guests each week, when we were all growing up, our parents, I like to say, yank, 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 yank in our ear. And there were phrases and words of wisdom, actually is what they were, that we would hear all the time. What were 1 or 2 of the phrases that you can think of that your mom and dad said to you that you use with your children to this day?
Oh my goodness. My mother always used to say, always do your best, regardless of what other people are doing. And I think I instilled that value into my children.
Okay.
Right.
And you say
Yeah.
those words to them.
Say it all the time. You always do
Okay.
your best. Always do your best, whatever
Okay.
that best is today, because it could
Yes.
be better tomorrow.
Hmm.
Your best today.
Right.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, again, this part of the show is to just give you a background. Who brought you into this world? What values did they give you?
Mhm.
You met your significant others. You decided this was going to be the person you both did that you wanted to have kids with, establish a life. And yes, there were words that you learned that you have instilled in your kids. So let's go with the questions that it took me teeth pulling to get from you, Mr. LJ. Ooh, you better be glad I love you. So let's go on with the very first question. Your question is, well, you sort of answered this too, but here we go again. Were you prepared mentally, emotionally, or financially? Which one of the three were you most prepared for when you were planning these children?
Mentally.
Really?
Yeah.
In that,
I honestly had no idea all the work that goes into parenting to be a real parent, but I knew how much work didn't go into not being a good parent.
wow.
So I used that as my energy because I knew to be involved. I mean, if you're a true parent, you give up a lot.
Right.
You give up a lot to raise children.
Yes, you do.
A lot of your time, a lot of your focus, a lot of your energy. And if you're not mentally prepared, that's when you by default become a bad parent.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. See, that's what I love about this show. Every week I learn something more, and to hear the answers from all of you. Wow. Thank
Yeah.
you. All right. Your next question is: give me 3 things you wish you knew before becoming a parent.
Oh. How to have more patience.
I was waiting for that word.
Yeah. Kids try your patience. And you know why they try it so much? Because they don't have any. So, right? As
Is
we
that
get
what it is?
older, we understand patience more and more, but kids have no patience. They
Okay.
want something, they want it now. And if they want something, they want it now, and you can't give them that thing,
Uh-huh.
you got to figure out something else to give them. So it's constant.
That's one. Give me 2
Yeah.
more or 1 more.
What was the question again? So I
The
make sure I
question
answer
is
right.
3 things that you consider, number 4. 3 things that you wish you knew before becoming a parent.
Okay. Yeah. So definitely patience. I had no idea how expensive children are.
Oh,
But again, that's being a proper parent, right? Because I'm talking about, eating healthy, being part of some type of group, volleyball, basketball, football, whatever it is.
mhm.
Um, those things are expensive to get the right equipment and et cetera, to have them in a good school. Like I said, we moved to a good school district to live in that area. So that's important. And I didn't know how expensive they were. And I would say the last thing is whatever your dreams are for your child, be flexible, because no matter what you do, there's no guarantee you can lead them in that direction that you are, right? They have to go through their time to find it out, So that's the last one, I think.
Okay. And at the end of the day, and I like to say that at the end of the show, but I'm gonna interject it right now. At the end of the day, you have given birth to another adult, and your influence is but so much because they grow up, they get their own minds, their own
Right.
interests, and you're constantly think about herding a cattle, right? And
Right.
you got to keep prodding them, and so they stay inside the lines, right?
Correct.
So, but that's what again. So I think you're sort of getting ahead of me on my questions, but
I'm sorry.
no, that's okay. So here it is again. You pretty much answered this, and I really liked your answer a moment ago. It was, what would you say makes a good parent? Because you made a comment again, I loved it, between being a real parent and being a good parent.
It's I mean, it's all those things in one. If I had to hone that down, um, you have to be consistent. To be a good parent, you got to be consistent. I mean, and if you're consistent and they pick up those behaviors behind you, and they're really simple things, really subtle things, but it could be, during the school week, you go to bed this time. If you start letting them stay up later, get up later for school, that becomes a habit. It becomes a bad thing. But if they know that's what they have to do and it's consistent, I think consistency is the number one thing for being a great parent. Of course, is all the other things, honesty and loyal, learn all these things, education, etc. But be consistent.
Wow. Say what you mean and mean what you say.
Say what you mean and mean what you say. I've had a golden rule since my children were born. I only say no once. I only say yes once, whatever. But if I say no, that's pretty much it. You can ask me 27 more times. If the answer was no to start off, even though conditions may change, I still stick with that no, because kids like they're like rodents, right? That sounds bad, but a rodent just don't look for one way inside your house. A rodent will look for ways constantly until it gets in your house, right? They don't look for one way. I can't fit through that hole. Never mind, I'm gonna go to another house. No, they'll keep looking until they find a way in your house. Kids are the same way. They want something, they'll keep asking you until they break you down. And if they know it's not gonna work, they stop. So so just be consistent.
Well, I like to think of them less of a rodent or as a salesperson.
Nah,
Right?
well, some salespeople are pretty hard. They never. That's true. That's true. That's true. Some salespeople give up though. Some salespeople give up easily.
Oh, not the good ones.
Kids don't give up.
You just
Just
find
keep
another.
asking.
But I like your rodent analogy.
Yes, yeah. I just came up with that right now too.
Well, good. That's why I try to bring intelligent parents on the show. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's get to your next question. Your next question is, I like you picked this one. Did you attend parent teacher, and you still have one in school? Do you attend, I won't say all, but parent teacher meetings?
Yes, especially in elementary and middle school, I was involved all the time. High school, you kind of give them a little bit more leeway. They're kind of too cool for school. It's so funny. It's a pattern, right? And it went to both of them. In elementary school, they love you to come every day. Come every day, hang out. We love it. I can't wait to see you. Middle school, they kind of start slowing down. You come every once in a while. Okay, you're here again. High school, why are you here, Dad? Why are you here?
Wait. I'm talking about parent teacher meetings, and let me tell you why.
Yeah, I do that too. Yeah.
As you know, I do motivational speaking in the school. And one of the things the teachers tell me, because I wanted to do a session for parents at a parent teacher meeting, and they assured me, this has been well over 8 years now, or probably more, that the parents do not attend parent teacher meetings anymore.
No.
They would not. Right.
I did. I always did. I love doing it. And every one of my children's teachers, I went to meet them and got to know them.
But tell the audience again, those who are maybe young and or a little neglectful, tell them the importance of attending parent-teacher meetings with your kids' teachers.
Involvement. I tell you, when I think as a child, if a child sees or knows you show up to personally talk to their teacher, they automatically realize you now know my teacher. So that becomes a thing for them, and it becomes a weapon that the parents can use, right? I just talked to, I just talked to such and such yesterday. Oh, she said you're doing this great. And then the students go, wow, you know my teacher. And that changes how they think and what they do. And on the teacher side, teachers love it. Teachers love it. And I feel sorry. I know some people are burdened with work and things of that nature. But if you're not visiting your child's teacher and getting to know them, then you're not you're not making that connection of the time to be that parent.
Well, and the other part to that is you don't know the full development of your child.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
to me is one of the other
Yeah.
reasons for attending parent-teacher meetings.
Absolutely.
What is he behind? She is behind in. What are they
Right.
excelling in? What
Right.
can you work more on?
Right.
A report card can have an alphabet on there, and they can change those alphabets. However, you can talk to your teacher and find are they ruly in class?
Absolutely. The question, Coach, I tell you, I don't think there's ever been a teacher that wasn't happy, loved talking to me, loved me asking questions, especially now, more so than when we were growing up. Now with the email, then the texts and the the schools have their own software and systems that you are I'm constantly to know. I know when my kids have tests coming up, meetings, agendas, sports events, all that information, you got it. So there's really no reason for parents not to be involved today than when we were growing up. I know my parents were out of the loop. I think if I could say throughout my elementary and middle school years, I think my parents may have came to school twice, maybe.
Wow.
2 or 3 times.
No, my mom went all the time.
I know. See? So yeah.
And, I would sit there and say, "Oh my God, what are they gonna say?" And of course, you can imagine there was only one thing to say. She's always talking.
Always talking. That was me. We can talk. That's a whole nother subject about us. But yeah, the same thing when I was in school. Always talking, goofing around, talking.
Yeah, but I got great grades. I was respectful. I got my assignments in on time.
Yeah,
those are part of parenting. And now you're telling me what I didn't even know, that we have this thing called technology.
Oh my God!
There's no reason to know. I'm going to do this as an aside. And you see it on TV, and the kids, a little off the beaten path, and the parent will say, "Oh, he's a good kid. Did you see a homework assignment? Did you go to a parent-teacher meeting?
Yeah.
Do you know the kids? They come home. Do they have any homework?"
Right.
None of that. And this is a good kid that all of a sudden the society picked on.
Sure.
No.
Yeah. Well, it's sad, but and if this is calling out some parents, it is. It's some parents use school as a daycare. They're just dropping the kid off. They're happy there. I want nothing to do with it. Do your thing. Figure it out on your own. And it's sad, but that's a reality.
Yeah.
It just is.
All right, let's move on. The next question is, your last question. This one pretty good. Things you taught your child, and then I put in parentheses, respect, thankfulness, honesty. I like to talk about, this is one of my favorite topics, cleaning their room. I have a thing about cleanliness. Yeah, we know it's next to godliness, but children don't know that. So I'm going to change the question a bit, or the answers. What was your stance, you and your wife's stance on dishes? Because I believe part of that is discipline. It's things that they're going to need to do when they become adults and get their own family and or live by themselves for the rest of their lives. They're going to have dirty dishes. They're going to maybe want to make their bed. So let's compile that. So let's first take cleanliness. What was your stance on that? And you had athletes, so
yes. Yeah, always clean. They always had to keep their room clean, and it was easy to do, right? So we had I used to make chalkboards. Had chalkboards around, big chalkboards I made, and their chores were on there. So we didn't have to tell them. They knew. They could read it, see what they are, blah blah blah. And there were rules, like on, let's say, Saturday, when they had to go clean their room up. There was rules. Okay, now it's time to go clean your room up. And we gave them a time limit. Like, for the next 45 minutes, you're cleaning your room. Now, you can go in your room and walk around in circles, but you got 45 minutes to clean your room. So if you go do it right, you could be done in 12 minutes, 8 minutes, whatever. And they used to do it. And no problem. And especially my daughter. She loved to clean room. And they loved to clean up. So it was easy.
What about dishes?
Dishes, all those things were connected to chores. We turned over things slowly to them.
Every day. Was there a chalkboard for?
Yes, there was a chalkboard because I had a rule where I didn't like saying it over and over. Hey, did you do the dishes? Hey, you done about the trash? Hey, did you do the recycling yet? So I put it on the board, and it was great because the board could be erased, right? It could be edited, and on Saturday, I'd wake up, or maybe Thursday or whatever, I put the stuff on the board for Saturday, and the rule was I don't have to tell you this on the board. You know the board is there. You go check it out when you're ready. You can go do your chores any time of day you're ready. Here's what we're doing on Saturday or Sunday, but you can decide anytime on Saturday to do the chores. But you got to be done, and they do it. And they were smart kids, so they knew. Let me do my chores early and get them out the way. And my daughter was the leader, so she'd say, "I'm doing my chores now." So my son, well, I guess I do mine now, and then they do it together. They get them out of the way. So I was lucky in that department.
Well, again, you said what you meant and meant what you say. Yeah. I like the chalkboard. It's right up there with military training.
Yeah. You should see my chalkboard. But the chores now were connected to monetary whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So they got their money from it, but we also got to do things. So if we had something planned for Saturday, we were going someplace, or Sunday, and the chores weren't done, we just didn't go. We didn't go. And it only took like once or twice for that to happen. After that, oh no, never again. Right? Because I meant it. Right?
That's responsibility equals accountability. Accountability equals responsibility.
Exactly. You go. Easy as pie. Easy as pie.
When you say what you mean and mean what you say.
Done deal. And you're teaching them those values in life.
I think LJ, because, and I'll put this out there and I want your feedback as well. Because both of you were adults, responsible, did dance, traveled. I think maybe, because I don't know, some of the younger parents may think they're missing out, but that's what a condom was for, but you didn't hear that out my mouth. So you want to say you can't do this, and they want to do it. Well, you can go to Magic Mountain if they didn't make their room, if they didn't clean their room.
It's that simple.
You can't go to the movies.
Oh no, yeah. It's that simple. And I used to say, like, let's say we go into the park or the beach, right? Okay, guys, we're leaving for the beach at 11 o'clock. Okay. Here it is, 8:30 a.m. We're all up watching cartoon TV. Okay, you guys know your chores on the board. Okay, you gotta get them done. Okay. And that meant get them done right. So that meant when you clean your room, dad is coming in the room to check it out. Right. So you're not cleaning your room as we're on the way out the door, right? You're cleaning your room way before time to leave. And now I'm going to do my walkthrough, and I'm looking under the bed, I'm looking in the closet, and I'm checking this, checking that. And they knew what to do, and they would hit it. And sometimes I push them, like, why is this over here? Why is that over here? But just to let them know, when I do check, I'm checking.
Got it.
And they knew. They knew. And it took maybe one time that they didn't pull everything off because they knew, and they waited till the last minute. And then it was like 1 o'clock. And well, Dad, what time are we going to the beach? Oh, we're not going to the beach. What makes you think we're going to the beach? We're not going to the beach. Why? You didn't finish your chores. And that was it. Took once or twice. That was it. Done.
Oh, I love you.
Never again. It's easy. It's easy.
It is when you do what you say and say what you mean. Yeah. And that's why you also have A students.
Sure. And it paid off, and again, I however parents raise their children, they did it that way. That's fine. Mm-hmm. But I am proud to say my kids throughout all the elementary school, middle school, high school, and now my daughter's in college, all they do is focus on good grades. They hate getting bad grades.
Wow.
I don't know how many students out there that parents have those kind of students.
Right.
My kids, not from embarrassment, like, oh, my friends are going to laugh. No, they come home and say, Dad, I don't even want to show my scores to my friends. Like, why? Because they got 64 and 71 and I got a 98. I said, don't hide it. Be proud of it. You show them that you focus. But like when we grew up, that means you're a nerd. That means you're boring, right? Because you do what you're supposed to.
Think all that you gave to them and put inside Do you think they did it more for you or more for themselves?
Well, good question, Cozy. Great question. But if you think about that question, what I just instilled those values into them, and once those values was instilled into them, they took it off now. Because now think about this. For the most part, both of my kids are independent when it comes to their schools, their studies, what they have to do.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter in college by herself. I mean, she's at UCLA. I'm not there every day. Her mother's not there every day. And they're focused on good grades. So it's consistent for them to get good grades. My daughter, this is no joke, true story. My daughter got I think like a 98.7 on a test, something like that, right? Which was an A.
Yes.
Already done, right? I'm gonna tell you, when I was in school, if I got a 98.7, I'm good. I don't want teachers to see it because he may find something else to give me another low point. So I don't say anything.
Right.
My daughter will come home and study that test and find any flaw, any mistake, and go back to the teacher. And she went back one time and corrected. The teacher contacted me and told me what she did. He said, I just want to tell you how great your daughter is. Like, what? He said, yeah, she had a 98.7, which was an A. She came back and showed me a mistake that I made when I corrected the test. They gave her a higher score and pushed her into an A+.
Wow.
That's how focused she is. And that's in high school.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you would say with, unless God knows something you don't, for what you and what you guys have done, you and your wife, raising these two responsible adults, when they leave your house again, unless something happens that's just unfortunate, they should be gone. They should be able to leave your house, graduate college, get their jobs, raise a family, and repeat. What is it? Wash and repeat.
I hope so. I mean, I don't know if this economy that we live in now, the world that we live in now is different. But I think for the most part, yeah. Okay. And my daughter proves that every day that she's in college. She's so independent. So independent. I have to call her and ask her, you need me to help you do something? Or she'll call me and say, Dad, can you help me with this? But she'll try to figure it out on her own, do it by her own. But yeah, those values though, like I said, it's patience and it's constant, it's consistent, it's constant, right? Mm-hmm. It's teaching them as many values as I can, growing up.
Absolutely wonderful. One day I'll meet them. Hopefully it's not at their wedding. We've been friends so long. We've been friends so long. I'll call you afterwards and tell you I may see you around holiday, but we'll talk about that after the show.
Got it.
Mr. McCall, I just love you. All right, let's do your fun questions, sir.
All right.
Uh-oh. I should change it because you've been too prepared. I have to say if I like it or not. Yeah, okay, I'll give it to you. I'll give you the one you chose.
Okay.
No, I'm going to change it.
Go ahead.
Only because I know you so well. Wait a minute. Give me a minute.
Go ahead. You're trying to get a good one.
All good ones. These are all good ones. But for you, here. Tell me three best things about you.
3 best things about me. Now, from what angle you're talking about? That I think is best about me, or other people find 3 things best about me?
Listen to the question.
Okay.
Tell me 3 best things about you.
I think I'm very patient.
Okay.
I am self-motivated.
Okay.
And wow, I'm trying to narrow it down to 3.
Last one should be easy.
I'm very creative. I love to create things. I love to build furniture. I love to do garden work, planting, things of that nature.
Right.
Yeah.
Then I'll tell you the 4th best thing about you.
I got 4. Oh, what?
You're a great dad.
Oh, thank you. Good. Nailed it.
I said, come on, LJ, 3 best things about you. Your 4th best thing.
I love being a dad. I really do. I love, like I told you in my thing I sent to you. Mm-hmm. I love my children calling me Dada. Their nickname for me is Dada, and I love them calling me Dada. So all they got to do, they call me Dada. I almost want to give them stuff.
Well, you have earned it.
Yeah.
You have earned it. And every guest that I've had on here so far, I think I'm almost up to 10. You've all been just wonderful, great examples, exemplary examples of what can happen when you, again, it comes down to this, when you say what you mean and mean what you say.
Absolutely.
Each guest that's been on here will hit on a different topic that I love to hear. Is again, I can give 10 zillion reasons of why I did not want to be a parent. And all of you talk about the things that you knew it would take and you wanted to do it. You wanted to be a parent and you're doing your job. And so, as I say to my guests every week, I thank you, LJ. Society, thank you, LJ. Your children one day, hopefully, will thank you.
Yeah, they have already. Believe
That's
me,
right.
they have. Thank
That's
you.
right.
Yeah,
And
they made my life better.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that is the best compliment I think
That's the best. Yeah.
any parent could get is to
Yeah.
have their kids at some point, or especially once they get where you want them to go, to look at you and say, I heard years ago that being a parent is a thankless job. I never liked those words. I was
Not
a little
true.
girl.
That's
I was
not
a teenager probably. And I said, wow, how ungrateful, you ungrateful cretins,
Yeah.
right?
Not true.
And that's because I was grateful and you know how much I love my mom. But in some instances, I think in retrospect, it can be a thankless job when you don't do the job.
Well, doing the job is a journey actually because it's fun. And if you didn't get total enjoyment from birth, seeing that birth to sending somebody off to college, then you miss the whole journey. And to me, that journey, every time I'm out now, it never happens. If I'm out and I see a dad or two parents with a small child, my brain automatically goes back to when my children were little. Every time.
Really?
Yeah, and I often tell parents, strangers, if I'm standing next to them, I meet them, I say, listen, hey, how old are your kids? Oh, 3 or 6. Oh, okay, great. Listen, enjoy it because it goes so fast.
That's right.
It goes so fast. And when it's gone, it's over.
Yeah.
No redo.
Right. And I don't ask parents that, I don't ask them that question. Did it go fast? Because I, as a person without children, people's children that I know,
yes,
I've got this little kid right now who plays pickleball. Must say pickleball before the show is over. And every time I see him, he gets taller. Every time I see him, his face looks different.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can be around, you have nieces, nephews, cousins, what have you. Hey, listen, you know, I'm going to have a big birthday in less than 60 days.
Whoop, whoop.
Right. Did that go fast? I don't think it went fast, quite frankly. Yeah. I didn't. I enjoyed so much of it. I just cruised along to get here. But at the end of the day, I am no longer 21, 31, 41, or 50. And it's called life.
Life.
When you bring other people into this world, it's a heck of a responsibility. And I hope someone today got something out of this show with LJ, the shows I've had before. Right now we're live. When the show is ended, you can find us on Facebook at prconnectionsradio.com. It's there for your viewing at any and all time. And I love to end the show every week by saying we can all stand to learn from each other.
Yes.
I believe when you know better, you do better.
Love it.
Folks, please come back and join us again next Tuesday. I did not have the wiggles, by the way. Did you know that?
You did. You did good.
No,
but crack. You can do that wiggle thing though if you want to. You can do.
It's the hair.
That should be a trademark now.
Oh no, we're getting people involved. Look, it is. It's the hair.
Well, I enjoyed the show. Awesome. I'm glad you invited me.
I thank you, and you know how much I love you. Don't go far. I'm going to give you a call in a minute.
Okay.
Folks, good night, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Thank you for joining Cozy Up and Pay Attention, the Parent Edition.
Bye.